Fifth Hour Radio Show.
Hey, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself growing up. How did you find your way into tattooing?
You know, I think I really got into tattooing pretty much through music. You know, I was into a lot of hardcore music and punk bands, and a lot of the guys had tattoos. You know, when I was like 14 years old, I'd go to shows and I'd be like, man, these guys are crazy, you know, and I was like, a lot of my friends were older and they were getting tattooed, so I would design their stuff and go with them and watch them get tattooed by the guy, and I was like, man, this is like, it was pretty magical for me, and I was like, this is the life that I'm into right here. I was pretty lucky to, you know what I wanted to do at a young age. You know, most people don't have that.
Did you have any tattoos yourself before you started giving others?
No, I already got a couple tattoos before I started doing them.
What was your first tattoo?
I got a dragon on my right arm. When I was doing the shop, I think that one, it was on the wall, and it was one of the ones that just really stuck out at me. And every time I would see it, I was like, man, that would look cool on me. So that's pretty much the one I picked. You know, I'm glad I didn't get anything like stupid. Yeah.
Let's talk about the first tattoo you ever give. When you grabbed the iron for the first time, getting ready to lay the ink, what was that like, and what was it of?
The funny thing is the first tattoo I ever did was a koi fish. My friend wanted it, and it didn't really come out so good. I was like super nervous, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I just pretty much had a roommate that had the tattoo equipment, and my friend was like, you can tattoo, you can draw better than your friend, and I was like, all right, and I pretty much messed him up. And years later, this guy, he became a tattoo artist as well, and he won't let me fix it because he's like, look what Chris Garver did. He messed me up.
Look at this. It's supposed to be a koi fish. It's a carp.
It looks like I got run over by a truck.
You know, I imagine a tattoo artist needs to be not only the artist, but also a good listener and communicator. You know, I'm sure you hear all types of stories on why, each individual is getting their tattoo, right?
Yeah, sure. A lot of people, they don't tell me because it's not TV. In real life, they don't have to tell me why they're getting it. And I don't always ask, but, sometimes I get some pretty wild stories to go with it.
Well, it's kind of like being a bartender, I'd imagine.
I guess so. I never did any bartending, but I'm sure, the people I tattoo, hopefully they're not drunk. So, drunk people usually got looser lips.
Do you get a lot of that? People come in your shop, drunk and stuff like that, just wanting to get a tattoo. Do you turn them away?
No, actually, the shop that I'm working at now is pretty low key, and it's not like a street shop. So most people that get tattooed there, they make an appointment way in advance, and so we don't really get,
You're more of an upper class shop now.
Not really, but it's definitely more of like an appointment only type of thing.
Do you have any off the wall stories of why someone maybe got a tattoo?
I mean, I've had some off the wall stories of people that I didn't tattoo. More, I'd say. I had a guy, he came in and he wanted me to tattoo an upside down cross. This was years ago, but he wanted me to tattoo an upside down cross on his forehead. So I went and told him, I go, why do you want to do that? He's like, because I hate God. And I was like, so you believe in God then? He's like, no. I'm like, well, how can you hate something that you don't believe in? And he was like, well, I hate religion. I'm like, all right, fair enough. And then I was like, well, an upside-down cross is really just a St. Peter's cross because St. Peter felt like he wasn't worthy to be crucified the same way as Jesus. And then he's like, well, are you going to do the tattoo? And I was like, well, I was just at my brother's wedding and they had communion and everything. You probably wouldn't want that. I did communion last week. You probably don't. I'm probably not the guy to do this for you,
Yeah, you didn't want that kind of karma on your back.
No, absolutely not. And then he kind of walked away mad. He's like, I'm going to get it from someone else. I was like, well, good luck with you. Good luck finding an apartment next year.
Yeah.
Or a job for the rest of your life.
Man, what all parts of the world have you worked in?
Actually, I just got back from Amsterdam. I was there in Germany. I tattooed Europe, Canada, Asia. That's about it.
So, I mean, are you invited? Do you just go there and work at these shops? Is it like a publicity thing for these other tattoo shops when you show up?
No, I get invited. You know, this is like before. You know, I did mostly a lot of traveling before the show. I worked in Japan for 6 months before we did Miami Ink, and yeah, you know, just I think traveling is a good thing to do. You know, it broadens your horizons, and you learn a lot more about different art forms and different parts of the world. So it's good. It's a good thing because people want all sorts of stuff tattooed on them these days.
What point in your career do you believe you really started making a name for yourself in your work?
I'd say probably about 10 years in. I've been tattooing for about 25 years now. So I think about, you know, I did a lot of tattoo conventions probably in my early 20s, and you know, I won some awards at those things, but they, you know, it wasn't like it is now. It was definitely a smaller community of people getting tattooed, and it wasn't like, you know, now you go, there's a weekend in every state. You know, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The way things have happened.
Why do you think that is? You know, why do you think the tattoo business has skyrocketed in the last 20 or so years?
I think there's a lot of different factors. I think, you know, one of the things is a lot of celebrities started getting tattoos, a lot of, you know, people in music and acting and sports. So that became a little bit more acceptable, you know, just because people that will look up to somebody and they have a tattoo, like, hey, you know, that thing is pretty cool. I think I'll get one. You know, maybe they weren't the type of person that would have got one 20 years ago. And another thing is the artistry has gotten so much better. You know, a lot of, you know, the illustration business is pretty much dried up everywhere except for tattooing. So that's bringing in a lot of people that have tons of art ability. They went to art school, you know, and it's making the art form better, I think. That's one of the things that draw people. They don't have to get something off the wall, some kind of crude design. They can, anything they think of, you can pretty much get tattooed within reason.
You know, talking about stencils and you know, designs, have you ever just free-handed something?
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time. It's usually, you know, if it's something that I'm pretty accustomed to tattooing, and, you know, they come to me and they just want something that, you know, I've done 1 million dragons, I've done 1 million koi fish, skulls, and every type of flower you can think of. So if somebody wants something like that, I can just draw it on. You know, it helps to, you get the right size, it works with the body, and then, you know, it's kind of like instantaneous. They see it. They're like, yeah, that's it.
You know, what do you consider your specialty to be, you know, as far as design? I know you can do anything, but do you have your favorite? Is like dragon type designs your favorite?
I like to do anywhere from, you know, Japanese style to realistic to traditional Americana stuff. You know, I like doing pinup girls and all sorts of stuff, hiker stuff, you name it.
Have you ever put anything on anybody that you've regretted doing besides your buddy in college?
Yeah, you know, I'm never really 100% satisfied with everything. I don't tell the person I tattooed that, but I always, you know, I'm pretty critical. I could do a tattoo that everybody in the world will think it's great, and the only thing that I'll notice are the things I could have done better.
You know, when Miami Ink first started filming, did you take well to someone, you know, or cameras being over your shoulder all the time? Did it affect you or your work in a negative way at all?
I think it was pretty tough to get used to, just for the fact that they would always interrupt you to have you interview the customer, and you know, there was a lot of time you couldn't listen to music as you were working because of you know, it's just because of you know, the copyright stuff, and so that was a little hard to get used to. But yeah, after a while, you get used to anything, I guess.
Yeah. Have you ever given any tattoos to any celebrities?
Sure. I got to tattoo one of my heroes as a kid, Evel Knievel.
Oh, that's awesome.
that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think he was pretty much the only person I ever tattooed that I was just like, so it was
in
I
awe.
was like nervous and excited. Yeah, I was like, wow, can't believe I'm tattooing you.
That is really cool.
But,
I mean, you know, I know Evel, you know, has passed on. How many years ago has that been?
I think that was at about 2004, I guess.
Now, who do you go to, you know, or who have you went to have your work done?
You know, I usually work with pretty good artists, so I get tattooed by people I work with normally.
Well, man, before we get off here, do you have any upcoming projects as far as television or anything like that you're working on right now?
I might be doing some sort of drawing show, like a Bob Ross meets tattooing for Vice magazine, but it's still in the works. It's not definite yet.
Well, man, let our listeners know as far as websites and social media and stuff like that where they can go to and find out more information about you, Chris.
Yeah, I have a website, chrisgarvertattoo.com. I'm also, on Facebook, Instagram. I have a kids' clothing line, Ruthless and Toothless, that we're going to be relaunching pretty soon. We're doing a couple different things with that. And that's about it. I'm also at a tattoo shop called Invisible NYC. They have a website as well.
Well, man, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join us on
You're
the
welcome.
show.
Have a great night.
You too, man. Good luck with everything.
Thanks.
The 25th Hour Radio Show.